Something huge is brewing in Dallas, and it could all go down on draft night. As we all know, the Dallas Mavericks only have one pick in the upcoming draft, but it is the most important pick in this upcoming draft, where we will be drafting Cooper Flagg first overall. But on this channel, we've talked extensively about all the needs that the Dallas Mavericks will have to meet by the end of the summer. Contracts, second apron status, who's going to stay, who's going to go, trades, free agency signings. But some of those needs could be met in the draft, and according to a very trusted source, the Dallas Mavericks are interested in trading for another first-round pick to address some of these needs. So in this video, we're going to take a look at some of the reports, who exactly it is that the Dallas Mavericks should be going after, according to me, as well as what type of trade would have to go down to get these picks. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 21,057 subscribers. Again, just want to say thank you guys for all the love and support. We're on the road to 22,000 subs, and it starts today. So if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related all summer long, make sure you subscribe, and I'd appreciate it. But the Dallas Mavericks, they have a lot of needs that need to be met this summer. We've talked about it a lot on this channel. We are currently, we're in the first apron. We will be well over the second apron once we draft Cooper Flagg, only by about $2 million, so it isn't that bad. We could easily trade somebody to get under that second apron. That'll make it a lot easier for the Dallas Mavericks to give contract extensions to Daniel Gafford as well as PJ Washington come next season, as well as Derrick Lively down the road when that comes up, and any other free agency signings that we plan on doing. We also need a backup point guard, and obviously we do have some options in-house that we could look to. We did give Brandon Williams a very nice and team-friendly contract for all that he did last season when the chips were down, when things were looking bad and we were about to forfeit games. We could rely on Brandon Williams night in and night out. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a small sample size of just a Linsanity run for Brandon Williams. He is the real deal as far as a backup point guard goes. So obviously having him, we know he's going to be playing heavy minutes at the point guard position, but you want to make sure you have a very good point guard rotation. We also have Jaden Hardy, who knows if he's still going to be here. Obviously, we re-signed him last summer. We could trade him for a pick, as the Dallas Mavericks are trying to get back into the first round after they draft Cooper Flagg. So Jaden Hardy may get traded for a rookie point guard. We also have Omax. We also have Caleb Martin. Almost said his brother's name, but no, we have Caleb Martin, the other Martin twin, that we could also use in trades. The Dallas Mavericks have a lot of options, but they also have a lot of questions that they need to answer. If we take a look right here, like I said, it was reported, according to Rafael Barlow. Make sure you guys check him out. He does a lot of good work over on the Locked On Network. The Dallas Mavericks are trying to get back into the first round for their pick. Who y'all want? And I posted this on Twitter yesterday, and I looked at all the replies, and I'm going to talk about two players specifically. One player that a lot of people have mentioned, and a player that I think that we should definitely go after. But the best part is that both of these players are not even in the top 14 projected. So we don't have to worry about trading too much for a lottery pick when you could probably get away with just at the end of the first round. You could still find a very good player. If we take a look right here, if you want to pause this really quick, this is the lottery, or this is the order for the NBA draft, including the lottery as well. At the top is the Dallas Mavericks with the #1 pick. And if you take a closer look at the order of the draft, there are a few teams that have an abundance of picks, specifically the Brooklyn Nets, who have the 27th pick, the 26th pick, the 19th pick, as well as they do have a pick in the lottery, which most likely we're not going to be able to touch at the number 8th pick. However, the Dallas Mavericks could easily snag one of those late 20 picks if you dangle one of our other younger players. Like I said earlier, we have Jaden Hardy, we have Omax, there's also Caleb Martin, which I don't dislike Caleb Martin, but I do understand that if you can shed some salary off of his $9-10 million contract, why don't you do that for a rookie that could kind of help you more now than Caleb Martin? No offense. I do like Caleb Martin, great defender, I get that. But we do have needs, and we have enough forwards. We have enough big men. Let's try to get some guards. Of course, we have Najee Marshall. Of course, we have a lot of other players on the team that can handle the point guard position. But if we're going to try and get more young talent, why not try to swing for the fences? Not literally, obviously. We're not going to try to trade for the #2 pick, but still find a good player. We take a look right here. These are the players that are projected to go. If you want to pause to look, obviously at the top, it is projected that the Dallas Mavericks will be drafting Cooper Flagg. That's a no-brainer. But if you look at the list, there's a few players that aren't seen in the top lottery. And the first player that we're definitely going to talk about is Jace Richardson, where he is projected at this time to go number 22 overall to the Atlanta Hawks. So if we take a look what the Hawks need, try to see if we could finesse that pick out of them, trade them a future first round and maybe Jaden Hardy for this pick, or maybe Omax or any of our other expendable players and contracts, then I think Jace Richardson would be an amazing pick. This is my pick for the first round for the Dallas Mavericks if we can trade for it. If you just look at his pre-draft stats, they look amazing. Not quite similar to Cooper Flagg, but still similar in the fact that he doesn't have any glaring weaknesses. The only thing, according to this, that's the lowest is his passing, which is a 7 out of 10. His NBA ready, 7 out of 10. Quickness, strength, as well as size, 7 out of 10. He is a 6'2" point guard, so yes, we are getting another shorter point guard. However, we're not going to live or die by this shorter point guard. I mean, we have Kyrie Irving, who's about 6'2", 6'3"-ish, so it isn't that much different. Jace Richardson, whose father played in the NBA, has shown that he has a high-level IQ that could help the Dallas Mavericks right away. It's something that wouldn't take a season or 2 or 3 for him to start to get how things go in the NBA. He already, for the most part, has that IQ ready to go, similar to Cooper Flagg, who already is NBA ready. But I think Jace Richardson could easily be a player that the Dallas Mavericks trade for, try to get that pick from Atlanta if that's where he is projected to go, and then we just move. We have another young point guard to pair alongside Brandon Williams. If you still have Jaden Hardy, there's Jaden Hardy, or if you sign back Dante Exum or Spencer Dinwiddie, then there you go. There's a lot of options that the Dallas Mavericks could go down. But if we take a look at Jace Richardson, his comparisons are Derrick White and Rip Hamilton. And if you don't know Rip Hamilton, then you should probably look him up. He's actually a very good player, well-respected, a legend in many people's eyes. But Derrick White is an amazing comparison. We've seen what Derrick White did in San Antonio. We've seen what Derrick White did in Boston, where he actually won an NBA championship. And for his year last year in college, Jace Richardson averaged 11.6 points, 3 rebounds, 1.9 assists, 0.8 steals, averaging 24 minutes a game. Now, the one thing I don't like about the stat line is the assist, because if we do trade for Jace Richardson to help out at the point guard position, not saying he'll be a starter every game, but at least to just help out in that position, I want to see him more assists. I'm not sure if that's something that can definitely change. I don't want him to just go out there and try to be a score first guard, because we already have seen what that looks like when you draft a score first guard to try and be a point guard. You get Jaden Hardy, and Jace Richardson being a smaller guard isn't a below average defender. It's more of a neutral defender from what a lot of people have told me, which is fine. Defense wins championships, but if you're a smaller guard, you can only be so good of a defender. I totally get it. And the fact that he can score, he can get his own bucket, that's great. That's fine. But if we need a point guard, we need someone who can facilitate. We need someone that can pass the ball around, get guys involved, work well with Cooper Flagg, work well with Anthony Davis, Derrick Lively, Daniel Gafford, all of our bigs, get them set up. Because whenever you feed our bigs, whenever Daniel Gafford, Derrick Lively really get fed well by the point guard, they have amazing games, and that seems to be the secret to success with the Dallas Mavericks. But another player that a lot of people on Twitter were saying we should go after is the champion of last year's NCAA tournament, Walter Clayton Jr. Again, another shorter guard, but he is proven he did win the NCAA tournament. Again, very similar to Jace Richardson. If you look at his stats, not a lot of glaring issues. The lowest that he has is a 7 for leadership, a 7 for ball handling, 7 for passing, and 7 for intangibles. But the rest, 8 and above. Not too bad for someone that did just go and win an NBA championship, but the NCAA tournament. Now, the reason why Walter Clayton Jr. is a player that a lot of Mavericks fans want to go after is the fact that he's not projected to go that high in the draft, which is absolutely insane. According to a lot of mock boards, they're thinking he's going to go 25th overall, which is crazy for someone that not only won the NCAA tournament, but also won this award. Last year, he won, the most outstanding player of the 2025 NCAA tournament, and he's only projected to go about 25th overall. And that pick does belong to the Orlando Magic, who did just make a trade for Bane from Minnesota, if I can remember. Not Minnesota, from Memphis. I'm all over the place. You gotta forgive me. But the Orlando Magic just made a big trade for Desmond Bane the other day. They did get rid of a guard in Cole Anthony, so maybe they don't need another guard. Maybe they're good with their guards. Maybe that's not what they're looking for. If you can make a trade with the Orlando Magic, maybe trade Jaden Hardy. Maybe you do trade Brandon Williams, which I doubt that we would do. I'm not sure if we even can. We just gave him a contract. But you make a deal with Orlando. They say yes. You get that pick, and you draft Walton Clayton Jr. If we take a look right here, his comparisons are Ben Gordon and Jordan Clarkson. If you've been a fan of the channel long enough, you know I'm a big fan of Jordan Clarkson. I've talked about him extensively on this channel as a player I think would be great for the Dallas Mavericks. But for his season last year in college, he averaged 17.2 points, 3.8 rebounds, 4.3 assists, and 1.2 steals, averaging 32 minutes a game. another undersized guard. However, there's a lot more about Walter Clayton Jr. that I like that I didn't really see when I was looking at Jace Richardson. Obviously, the scoring, 17.2 points. That's great. Glad you can get your own bucket. But also the 4.3 assists, more than doubling that of Jace Richardson. So we know that, okay, you can pass the ball. You can get guys set up. You can create a play. The Dallas Mavericks, we don't have too many crazy needs, but we still have needs that need to be met. If we can trade for another pick in this upcoming draft, that means we have the opportunity to not only draft another point guard, but we can also shed contracts. When we sign Cooper Flagg, we'll be about $2 to $4 million over the second apron. And if we want to try and re-sign other players, try to keep the team together as long as we can, we're going to have to shed a little bit of salary to maintain some of these players for the long term. The new CBA definitely punishes you for overpaying, and no team really wants to have to pay those fees and fines. So let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think that Jace Richardson or Walter Clayton Jr. are players that you want to see on this team? Do you want the Mavs to try to swing for another first-round pick? Or is there someone in free agency, or maybe there's someone that we could bring back that you want to see on the Mavericks to help us out at the point guard position? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We can have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for being part of the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. And as always, y'all take care, drink water. Peace.